US does not consider removing sanctions on Chinese defense minister. China's interference keeps Taiwan from WHO conference. Chinese popular live streamer died after drinking during livestream broadcast. China's largest online classifieds platform and other large Chinese companies lay off 30% of staff.
The State Department confirmed on May 22nd that the U.S. are not considering removing sanctions on the Chinese regime's defense minister, Li Shangfu, despite President Joe Biden's comment about possible consideration over the weekend. While attending the Group of Seven G7 summit in Hiroshima, Biden said on Sunday that he was considering the move. However, a spokesperson from the State Department said Washington did not wait to lift sanctions on Li. The U.S. imposed sanctions on Li in 2018 for allegedly importing Russian arms while serving as a general. The Chinese regime urges Washington to remove sanctions as a condition for a possible meeting between Li and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin in Singapore. They will participate in Singapore's Shangri-La Dialogue Security Summit earlier next week. The Financial Times reported that Washington and Beijing had discussed the issue, but some people said the U.S. would not remove the sanctions. However, the U.S. told the Chinese regime that Li's sanctions did not prevent Defense Secretary Austin from meeting Li in a third country. 2 weeks ago, the Department of Defense spokesperson said, "The Secretary of Defense is able to engage in official United States government business with People's Republic of China, PRC, Minister of National Defense Li Shangfu, despite Li's sanctions designation." But sources told the Financial Times it would be impossible for Beijing to agree to a meeting if Li's sanctions remain in place. Li was appointed China's defense minister in March. The sanctions have become a sticking point ahead of an opportunity for both sides to resume defense talks amid tensions. There has been limited communication between the American and Chinese militaries. Admiral John Aquilino, the commander of the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command, mentioned during a hearing in April that since taking his position in 2021, he has constantly requested a meeting with the commanders of China's eastern and southern theaters, but his requests have been unsuccessful.
Taiwan has been excluded from attending the World Health Organization, or WHO, annual assembly in Geneva on May 21st, amid pressure from China. According to Reuters, China argued that Taiwan, a self-ruling island, is not a country, and therefore cannot be included among international organizations. Although international support for Taipei has grown recently, only 13 countries globally formally recognize the island as a sovereign state. Aside from China and Pakistan, Taiwan was backed by Eswatini and the Marshall Islands to attend the conference. Taiwan has access to some WHO meetings on technical matters, but argued that its isolation from the WHO limited its efforts to tackle the COVID-19 emergency. As per the Straits Times, Taiwan's health minister Xue Jueyuan said on May 21st, "Excluding Taiwan from WHO not only jeopardizes the right to health of the 23.5 million people of Taiwan, it also seriously undermines WHO's efforts to achieve health for all." Without being present at the meeting, Xue said Taiwan would miss out on efficiently sharing information that would prepare it for the next pandemic threat. Xue said, "I am afraid that Taiwan will become the gap of the next pandemic." Taiwan used to be able to join the WHO's top annual meetings as an observer between 2009 and 2016, when ties with China were warmer. But as Beijing intensified its pressure to reunify the island in recent years, it also escalated its efforts to keep Taipei from the event. Taiwan's health minister promises to keep pursuing WHO participation. As Focus Taiwan cited, he said, "Taiwan's membership at the WHO is a public health issue instead of a political one. Health is a basic human right that must leave no one behind." A Chinese live streamer passed away shortly after consuming excessive alcohol while on the social media platform Douyin, China's equivalent of TikTok. The BBC reported that the influencer, known as Brother 3000, engaged in a live stream where he consumed at least 7 bottles of spirits on May 16th. According to Chinese media, he was discovered dead 12 hours after his live stream. The incident became a hot topic on China's internet and has triggered heated discussions, calling for stricter regulations for the thriving live streaming industry in the country. The individual, identified as 34-year-old Wang by local media, had specialized in showcasing his consumption of Chinese liquor baijiu during live streams. Baijiu is a popular Chinese spirit containing alcohol levels up to 60%. On May 16th, he participated in 4 one-on-one challenges, where influencers compete to receive the most gifts from fans within a limited time frame. After losing 3 rounds, he was required to consume bottles of baijiu as a penalty. Viewers reported that he drank at least 7 bottles that night. Douyin bans livestream drinking, and Wang had been barred from the platform, but he bypassed the restriction by opening new accounts, with the latest one having over 44,000 followers. Tragically, he joins a growing list of Chinese live streamers whose deaths have been associated with their online activities. In 2021, Yu Hailong, known for consuming large quantities of food on Douyin, passed away after enduring long hours of high-intensity work. In China, live streaming is a common practice for selling stuff. During the broadcast, the host often urges people to buy. China's live streaming industry has experienced a remarkable expansion in the past few years. This platform provides brands with a unique opportunity to engage and interact with Chinese consumers. As of 2020, China's live stream industry has about 1.23 million professional live stream hosts actively working in this field. Recently, 58.com Inc., China's largest online classifieds platform, stated that it would lay off 30% of its employees, and almost 10,000 people would lose their jobs. Unfortunately, the same situation is happening in many other large Chinese companies. On May 18th, a netizen said 58.com was conducting large-scale layoffs in the form of N+1 compensation, with a proportion as high as 30 to 50%. Layoffs have become a trump card for companies to reduce costs and increase efficiency. According to Taiwan's CNA, 58.com has fired employees regardless of seniority and title. By the end of May, the company is expected to cut more divisions, of which the layoff rate of the TEG department and 58 Ganji Group is 30%. 58.com Inc. was founded in December 2005, with headquarters in Beijing. The company has 27 direct sales branches across China, covering recruitment, real estate, automobiles, second-hand commodities, local life services, finance, and other areas. Other companies are laying off up to 30% of employees, not just 58.com. On May 16th, there was information that Dalian Wanda Group was also in talks with banks to postpone debt repayment. A person close to Wanda Group said that before June, the group would conduct large-scale layoffs, with a conservative estimate of about 30%. Wanda's executives may also be demoted and have their salaries reduced, and executive vacancies will not be filled. In addition to large-scale layoffs of enterprises, the employment situation of Chinese university students is also very worrying. Small and medium enterprises in China are the leading force in providing jobs for university students. Still, many of them have closed down in the past 3 years due to the zero-COVID policy. Thus, Chinese university students face unprecedented employment pressure this year. According to statistics, there will be 11.58 million university graduates in China by 2023, making the employment problem harder to solve.